Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Avengers issue 29. And this was a pretty enjoyable issue. We got kind of the reveal of what we got our look at Starbrand, and we'll have to kind of see how that goes out. But we got some interesting kind of fight scenes in this one. It was kind of cool seeing Black Widow in her War Machine armor and how that fight went, while also seeing kind of Carol and Jen and the rest of them fighting Fire Lord and Terrax. So we start off and we see that Natasha's pretty much showing off the prowess that she can use of her War Widow armor, taking out those kind of guys that are like, we're going to take your ship and fly out of here. And she just pretty much annihilates them, kneecapping this one dude pretty well. And he's like, I'll tell you about the Starbrand for free. And then his face gets melted off. And of course, this then gets into a fight with, not a fight, more of a like back and forth between Surfer and Natasha, as the Surfer's like, listen, don't mess with the Starbrand. This isn't about good or evil kind of shit. This needs to be taken care of. And of course, she's like, we're gonna kind of need some more information than that. And of course, she's not able to take him on effectively because he's got the power cosmic and everything. And Blade's trying to get Robbie to wake up, but Robbie's hooked into, like, wired into the Hell Charger because evidently he got, like, roughed up enough that that's how he needs to heal. It's like, that's an interesting little thing to see, and we'll have to see how that kind of goes forward with his character. But he's like, alright, fine, I'll have to go out and do it myself. But then Boyd thing kind of, like, starts going on to him, and Natasha pretty much gets knocked down, and the Surfer's pretty much like, I got my stuff to attend to. But then he gets stabbed in the back by Blade, who is now encased in, like, boy thing armor. And it's fucking awesome. I love the artwork for it. And he's, like, explaining, hey, boy thing, he even, like, went on his blade and everything that he stabbed into the Surfer. And the Surfer's like, what the hell? It's like, yeah, if it's any being that can feel fear, this works on him. And Natasha's like, but what about you? He's like, yeah, it's very uncomfortable for me, but I'd rather burn out than like fade away in the back of a muscle car. So let's get to this. Also, because they're so close to his sun, it's also melting Natasha's armor. So they need to kind of like get onto this. It's melting Black Widow's armor. Like, oh god, let's kind of get this thing done. And they're pretty much fighting him using their weapons, and he's fighting them with, of course, his surfboard. He's like, we don't have time for this. Even if you talked about this, you would talk us into destruction. It's like, wow, he is not liking anything to deal with the Starbrand. That's pretty interesting. And of course, that's when we see the one planet that's got the Starbrand like burning on it, pulsing. It's like, oh god, that's not good. So that's where they're left off. We switch over and we see the rest of our companions fighting the other two heralds. We got Jen, of course, taking on Terrax. We got Carol taking on the Fire Lord. And we got Thor pretty much taking on asteroids and everything that Terrax is kind of sending their way. And Jen's trying to think of what's going on and being like, well, I'm kind of like something that's to protect the Earth, just like the Starbrand, so we got to go and protect them and help them and figure out what's going on, help them control their power and everything. And it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. I do kind of like seeing Jen's thought bubbles with that kind of process, giving us into that. Of course, we see that Carol's going after the Fire Lord dude, and he's like, screw you, I'm heralding the destruction of the Starbrand, so just kind of get out of my way. And don't you Terrans have like enough weaponry? And I'm thinking about, yeah, the thing is, Earth was pretty much at a point where it's like, we're really screwed in kind of like a galactic cosmic kind of arms race, but then we have a lot of different kind of things that can defend the Earth. He's like, when he brought that up, I'm like, interesting, but you're kind of going after someone that you could pretty much try and reason and talk to potentially into not doing these kinds of things. Of course, Carol pretty much gives him a nice good 1-2 and is pretty much holding him off pretty well. Thor, of course, gets knocked back into the ship, and of course, Cap's like, hey, go out there, feed, and pretty much bashes through the asteroids and everything, they of course set their sights onto the Starbrand planet as well, and Thor pretty much is taking Terrax there himself to pretty much knock his ass out as the rest of them are getting there, and we see the gladiators there pretty much telling the person to stand down while they're telling him to kind of like back away and everything. It's like, all right, you get your powers under control or I will get them under control. And is pretty much fed up with this and pretty much sentences them to die. And we see that it's this pregnant lady that really wasn't supposed to be there from her talking about. And every pang is that's where her powers kind of get like uncontrollable. It's like, oh god, that baby's got the star brand, and it's kind of allowing her to channel it to kind of protect herself. It's going to be interesting to see how that kind of goes. And see if it'll be aged up when it comes out, or if Gladiator's going to be fighting a baby that can shoot like shit. I'm actually kind of good with either way. It would be kind of hilarious to see Gladiator trying to fight a small baby wielding the power of the Star Brand. It would be funny, but it would also be kind of awesome. But I'm going with the rationale that they're probably going to age the kid up, and then that would probably lead them to being probably instrumental in what's going on with the outlawed thing, as that's going to be coming into Marvel's event. We've got this new birth being that's got cosmic powers. We'll kind of have to see how that works out. But that would be nice to have that kind of tied into. But I've kind of been enjoying this, seeing them going through this whole kind of prison system and being like, okay, this is just completely crazy. We got heralds out of everywhere. We got Natasha using a War Machine armor. We've got Blade using, Boy Thing offers himself to be armor so that way he doesn't get destroyed by a sun. It's just all kinds of awesomeness, and it's like, I can't wait to see where this story goes. I'm like, okay, Starbrand, let's see how this goes for you. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.